This video is sponsored by Netmarble. Welcome back to another full build episode. This week we've teamed up with Netmarble to bring to you Twilight's Edge from Blade and Soul. The video game's lore tells us that G1 was given us this blade from the heavens. She was one of the four guardians, but we don't really ever have any understanding of how the sword was made. And it does have some historical characteristics, however, it's very much a fantasy design. So we've decided to add another level of complication to it and try our best to forge the entire sword, handle, blade, everything out of one solid piece of metal. With our material now broken down into a bar, it's time to start punching the hole that will be turned into the pommel of our sword. Before we induce the curvature to the blade, I'm going to first do some rough grinding around the profile of the blade portion so that we can get the curvature spot on. Although Ilya did an amazing job forging our pommel, there's still a lot of detail to be ground and carved in. I'm first going to move to the large belt sander to remove the bulk of the material, and then I'll be doing most of the carving with a Dremel and a handheld belt sander. Finally time to start doing some of the actual blade grinding. I'm going to be doing what's called a double hollow grind. I'm going to start off by using a 14-inch contact wheel and then move down to an 8-inch contact wheel to do the finalization of the shape. This handle is very detailed and it's all done in steel. It's made to mimic a tsuka, which is the handle of a traditional Japanese katana, which is traditionally done with silk overlapping and knotted very specifically to create the look. But we have to create the look in a solid piece of steel. It's going to be a lot of work. It's quite intimidating. However, I'm just going to move to the grinder, start cutting in my lines, and move on from there. One thing to remember when doing carving like this in solid material is to not panic. It's going to start off looking quite crude, but by the end, if you follow the proper path and trust your instincts, you're going to create something beautiful. With the blade grinding now complete, the handle carving done, it's finally time to heat treat our sword. one little detail left to be carved into our blade, and that's the diamond shape that lays in the ricasso area just before the blade portion of our sword. In the video game, this sword is quite dark. However, it does appear to have a bright back edge. So what I'm going to do is polish the blade completely out, then I'll go ahead and darken back the edge side. With our sword almost complete, there's just a few finishing touches left to do. enjoyed how this blade turned out. Making a sword out of one piece of solid steel is quite the challenge. If you guys are looking for a martial arts based MMORPG, make sure you give Blade and Soul a try. If you enjoyed this build, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. And as always, tell us in the comments below which build you'd like to see this team build next. Please consider subscribing to this channel that works.